we are very excited to have you join us for this unveiling of the 4th edition of the Who's Who Diversity in Color new book. And I hope that you enjoyed the reception that was sponsored and hosted by our very own Ballpark Village PBR and our beer sponsor, Anheuser-Busch. Hey, hey. That's right. Let's also thank our networking reception entertainment, the violinist, Belle Darris, and pianist Darius Savage. Fabulous. It was so fun to see folks going through the lines singing, you know, all their favorite tunes. It's great. You know, when the violin is playing, you think you can carry the tune, and then she goes all the way up, and I left it alone there. She goes high, I say no. That's it. That's enough. Right. So we will go ahead and get started, and let's just take a moment to thank Diversity in Color for expanding the brand to include all people of color. Mm-hmm. That's right. Even a little bit or a whole lot, you're included. This evening is dedicated to those in higher education who understand the importance of diversity on our university and college campuses, and of course, the phenomenal people of St. Louis. Coming to the podium next will be Theron Morgan, filling in for Jim Watry, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Ballpark Village, our host and sponsor for tonight's event. Let's give the official, he's not here, all right, so let's welcome each other. Look to the person on your right or left and just say welcome. That's right. And I really want you to step outside of your comfort zone. You don't even have to step. Just turn around and say that to the person behind you. Yeah. When you step outside of your comfort zone, it enlarges. There you go. All right, well, we do appreciate their dedication to diversity and for welcoming us here every year. So at this point, I'd like to welcome to the podium Antonio Lozano, hello, of Ameren to recognize the 2018 Who's Who Diversity in Color Host Committee and Reception Sponsors. Come on up.
Wanted to thank Erica, and just wanted to say, you know, I'm just getting introduced to a lot of folks here. But doesn't it make you happy being around Erica and Keith? These are two very, very good people. And regardless of what's going on and what you're focused on, just makes you happy. So I just wanted to say that. But my role tonight is to thank people. So I'm going to do that. And we'll start with the host committee. Oh, you got to get closer here. We'll start with the host committee. I am just started on the host committee myself, but we've got some folks that have done a lot more work than I have. And I don't believe she is here, but Miss Helen Lee from Talent Associates is one. And then we have two more. Michael Whiteley, Development Director for the St. Louis Public Schools Foundation. And Miss Betsy Cohen, Executive Director for the Regional Immigration and Innovation Initiative for the St. Louis Mosaic Project. They've done a tremendous amount of work. Thank you. None of this could have happened, of course, without the support from our partners. So the global sponsors, Ballpark Village. Thank you to Ballpark Village. Monsanto and Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo Advisors. Next, we've got our regional sponsors, UPS, St. Louis Cardinals, Anheuser-Busch, and Commerce Bank. Thank you to them all. We've got a couple local sponsors, Emerson Electric and Centene. Thank you to them. They can't hear me in the back. Okay. All right, higher education sponsors. Harris Stowe State University. Yes, thank you. Maryville University. Missouri State University. St. Louis University, University of Missouri Columbia, University of Missouri St. Louis, and Washington University. And then thank you to our media partners, Black Pages, iHeartMedia, Red Latina, St. Louis American, Praise 95.1, and STL TV. I'm trying real hard not to forget anything here, so thank you for being patient. Our banking partners here, Commerce Bank, Carrollton Bank, Midland States Bank. There we go. And the Bank of Edwardsville. And we've got two healthcare partners as well. So we've got Children's Hospital. Yeah. And SSM Healthcare. So do me a favor as you walk around and talk to each other, look at the screens. We've got additional sponsors and all our advertisers up there. And congratulations to all the honorees tonight. Thank you.
So it's really terrific to see and know how many people are supporting this effort, to know that it is a priority for the organizations in our community to support diversity and appreciate and value what it does for our community. So I'd like to welcome Lorraine Davis, Vice President of Wells Fargo Advisors, who leads efforts for Wells Fargo for community supporters nationally. She does. Come on up and have your remarks. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Can everyone hear me? I'm pretty darn loud, so I want to welcome all of you here tonight. What a great evening for St. Louis and for our entire region. I especially want to welcome my Wells Fargo colleagues here tonight in full force. So my name is Lorraine Davis, and I serve as Vice President and Community Champion Program Leader for Wells Fargo Advisors. You know, I'm so blessed to work for a company with such a rich history of embracing and supporting diversity. Many of you may know me from my previous role in community relations, and most of you know that I thrived in that work. And it would take something really, really, really strong to pull me away from that, something really meaningful. But you know, we never know what's going to happen in life, do we? And we have to look at things, the choices that we have to make, and say, hey, this is an opportunity, this is something great that I could really make an impact. And that's what joining the Next Generation Talent was for me. When I learned about the non-traditional financial advice to bring in people of color and women, I signed on for the challenge of developing programs to source candidates for these roles. The Next Generation Talent Financial Advisors' careers have eliminated the long-held obstacles for women and people of color. These roles provide licensing, training, clients, salary, and bonus. You know, my colleague Angela spoke earlier this evening at the reception upstairs, and many of us never grew up with a financial advisor. We didn't even know what a financial advisor was. The financial advisor in my house was Mama, okay? And I bet for a lot of you all, it was the same thing. She didn't have the experience or the licensing. She did the best that she could. But imagine one of her children or her having the ability to reach out to someone who could give her that advice so that she could have long-term financial success. You know, Diane Gabriel, who's the head of Next Generation Talent, often reminds us of where we were then and where we are now. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. Diane Gabriel is what I call the real deal. She was a successful financial advisor for 35 years and a career dominated by men. A fearless leader who never let the prejudices against her deter her from her chosen path. She'd be here tonight, but you know where she is? She's hiring folks for next generation talent. And that's what we need her to be doing, right? Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when Diane started in this industry 35 years ago, she won't mind if I tell you that, if I date her a little bit, because we're the same age. It's all good. But back then, there were about 11% women in the financial advisor industry. We fast forward to 2018, that number is now a whopping 15.2. And I think we know that women represent more than 15.2% of the population, right? When we look at people of color, I'll tell you the story back then, 35 years ago, was there were about 2% of us as financial advisors. I won't ask you to guess what that number is because it would take you too long, but you won't have to go very far from that 2%. It's still 2%. So we have some work to do, right? But work is an opportunity. Work is a challenge, right? We have to do better, and we are. Our financial advisors need to reflect the communities and the clients that we serve. So I'm proud to say that 2 of these roles now boast a 40 to 45% diversity number. One of the programs boasts an 80% diversity number. And it gets better. You know, we can hire folks all day long, right? But the issue becomes, can we keep them? Can we help them achieve long-term success for the benefit of our company and especially for them and their family? So yeah, the answer is yes. How about 85% of them stay and are successful in these careers, which is the opposite dynamic of what it used to be. 80% of them left. But this culture of diversity and inclusion is not new to Wells Fargo, I can tell you that. So as I wrap up, I want to read you something that someone shared with me a while ago. I keep it in my office, actually. It's from a Wells Fargo ad in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference magazine from about 10 years ago. The ad reads as follows. Instruction 9 of the Wells Fargo General Instructions, the most polite and gentlemanly treatment of all customers, however insignificant. Their business is insisted upon. Proper respect must be shown to all. Let them be men, women, or children, rich or poor, black or white. Now that sounds like something nice to say 10 years ago, right? Pretty okay. But would you believe that's from 1888? How many companies can boast a 100-year tradition of diversity inclusion? So on behalf of Wells Fargo Advisors, I want to thank Keith and Erica Willis for the opportunity to sponsor this fabulous and really important event. And congratulations to all the who's who of 2018. Thank you.
Thank you again, Lorraine. You getting us all excited about Wells Fargo. I'm not ready to change professions yet, but if I were, I would be considering. I will, though, and I encourage you to encourage someone to look into it. So please receive Michael Whitley, who is the Director for Development with the St. Louis Public Schools Foundation and 2018 Host Committee member. Come on up, Michael.
Good evening, everyone. Come on, you all can do better than that. You can't give a preacher a microphone either, right? Thank you, Erica Willis and Keith, wherever you are in the room. A big shout out for allowing me to be a part of the host committee. I really do respect and appreciate your work that you're doing in the community. This is what the world looks like. Beyond St. Louis, beyond our region, this is what the world looks like. Diversity and inclusion. I also want to do something off script. He drove all the way from Springfield, Missouri. He didn't ask me to do this, but because Missouri State is my alma mater, and they drove 3.5 hours to be here. Shout out to you, President Cliff Smart, as well as the board members that are here, Gabe Gore, and other members who are here in St. Louis. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing someone who is pretty phenomenal, and I read his background, and I said, wow, that's impressive. And his name is Robert Jing. Richard Jing, an experienced litigator and registered patent attorney. Richard Jing draws on a varied background spanning from pharmaceuticals, life sciences, software, and emerging technologies to help clients navigate and litigate complex issues. As a partner in the firm's intellectual property practice group, Richard regularly assists clients with patent, trademark, and copyright matters, as well as the type of intellectual property litigation. Richard also handles Hatch-Waxman litigation, drawing on a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering to translate sophisticated medical and chemical concepts into winning legal strategies. His experience includes pre-trial preparation, drafting direct examination outlines for expert witnesses, handling Markman hearings, and trial assistance. That's not all. After earning his Bachelor of Science degree at Washington University in St. Louis, Richard continued at the university's law school and earned his Juris Doctorate, serving with the Global Studies Law Review and being inducted into the Order of the Barristers upon graduation. He went on to earn his LLM in Intellectual Property and Technology Law. Richard earned additional experience as a legal intern with the Illinois 3rd Judicial, where he focused on asbestos-related matters. I told you he was pretty phenomenal. As a legal intern with the United States Attorney's Office during law school, he also interned for the Honorable E. Richard Weber in the United States Court for the Eastern Missouri District of Missouri, where he focused on patent, law, licensing, and infringement matters. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Richard Jing, partner at Goldberg Segalla, our 2018 Forward Writer. Richard.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. Before I get started, I want to thank Erica and Keith. This is an honor to be here. I'm just blown away by the people that are here. It's truly an honor. Tonight is really a celebration about everything that the people in this room have done. The hard work, the dedication, and the accomplishments are what we are here to celebrate tonight. And you should be proud of being included in this book, because we certainly are. I was asked really to write, to talk about the importance of diversity and what it means. And you know, in these interesting times that we are in now, diversity is more important than ever. Diversity is not just who we are, it is what we do and what we think and what we contribute to this community. That it's really what brings us together. In these trying times, we have to remember that knowledge is power, and that's why we're here to celebrate this. This is a celebration to show the world who we are, what we do, and how we are contributing to this community as a whole. Through this celebration, we're telling the people that not only are we here, but we are a part of this community and that we are making it a better place. And I think that's critical. Diversity is about showing the world what we do and making it a more inclusive and all inclusive and wonderful place. So, but tonight's celebration isn't just the end. Each of us remembers the struggles and the difficulties that we'd have, the institutional barriers that have kind of tried to keep us down, but we've overcome it. We've worked through it. We've come together. And so tonight is also about remembering what we need to get through and what we need to do in the next steps. So that's why we celebrate the things like Wells Fargo's programs and Centene and all the other sponsors and all the other things that are committed to these diversity and inclusion programs, because they're really enriching the experience and making St. Louis and this community a better place for everyone to live. So, and I promised my wife I'd be brief. She's 7 months pregnant with my first child, so I wanted to... So I didn't want to take up too much time. So I wanted to close real briefly with just one takeaway that a mentor to me once said is, if you have the time, find someone else to mentor, because that's really how we got here. We're here on the shoulders of the people that came before us, and it's incumbent upon us that, having accomplished this, to build for the next generation, to build the bridge so that we can have many more successful nights like this. And so I close with that. Take time, go forward, and find young people to mentor so that we can have many more many more nights like this where we celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of the people who are of diversity and color. Thank you.
I now have the distinct honor of introducing Ann Marr, Vice President, Global Human Resources at Worldwide Technology. As Vice President of Global Human Resources, Ann Marr oversees all human resources functions, which include talent management, policy development, benefits administration, training, leadership development, and employee relations as well as managing the company's supplier diversity program. She's a busy woman as well. Ann has over 20 years of human resource experience and has held positions at Enterprise Rent-A-Car and Anheuser-Busch companies. And Ann is also chair of the Worldwide Technology Charitable Foundation and is very active in the St. Louis community. She serves on several boards, including the St. Louis Regional Chamber Association, Maryville University's Board of Trustees. We have some Maryville folks here tonight, my good friend Ebony Shaw and her president. St. Louis Police Foundation, and the United Way of Greater St. Louis. Ann holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Human Resources Management from Webster University and is a pretty phenomenal cook. She has an awesome cookbook as well. So please join me in welcoming Ann Marr, Vice President of Worldwide Technology, our 2018 writer.
Wow, thank you guys. I am just honored to be here. When I got the call from Keith to write the foreword for this book, I said, I can't do that. What are you talking about? So I said, Keith, I need to talk to Dave Stewart. Dave is my mentor. I go to Dave for everything. So I went to Dave. I said, they want me to write the foreword. He says, well, I know you have something to say. And I said, you know what, Dave? He said, we have to do this. You know, Worldwide Technology is the largest minority-owned company in the United States. We are, yes. We are so proud of that, and if you've ever met Dave, he is so humbled by the success of Worldwide Technology. So I was really honored. I called Keith and I said, yes, I'm going to do it. And it took me a couple of drafts to really figure out what I wanted to say, but, you know, then I realized this is such an important publication. It really honors so many incredible individuals. And I hope you go through the book. I hope you read some of the information about these individuals in this book. It's inspiring. It's exciting. You know, it just makes you want to get up and do more. I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I think we should celebrate so many wonderful individuals in this community. And so being a part of this publication has been such a privilege and an honor for me, for Worldwide Technology. I really want to thank Erica and Keith for giving us the opportunity to be a part of something that is so big and so significant in this community. So thank you both for the honor that me and Worldwide Technology. So have a wonderful evening, and again, read through this publication. It is something that it will stay with you because of the individuals that are highlighted here and the things that they have done personally, professionally. It's inspiring, and I am just thrilled to be a part of this organization. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Richard and Ann, for your participation in this 4th edition. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the publisher, the founder, Erica Willis. Who's who, Diversity and Color? Erica.
Believe it or not, I know I have a loud voice, but I really hate this part. I am always in awe when I look out every year, and I want to thank you all for believing in this concept. I want to thank you all for believing in this book. I know each and every year we hear the stories of someone getting a new job from the book, or being put on a board from the book, or using it as a recruiting tool. So, you know, we like to share this book with our young people. You know, I cannot express it actually came about because of our youth. You know, our youth are desperate and searching. I don't think we would have and be in the state that we are in today if they felt the hope that is there. And this book, to me, gives them hope. It's everyone that looks like them. You can pick out any nationality, any religion, any station in life, and you will find it in this book, because it's not about how much money you make or what your title is. It is about how you give back to your community, how you engage yourself. So buy the book, buy two, share it with someone. Let them know the awesome careers that are in this book. I tell you, had I known some of the careers that are available, I may not even be doing this, you know. So you guys are awesome, and you need to congratulate yourself, because we really would not be the wonderful city that we are without you here. So give yourselves a round of applause, because you are all special. St. Louis reaches on the map. You know, I cannot watch a movie. I don't care what the movie could be set in California, and somehow St. Louis gets mentioned. Out of all the cities in this great nation, St. Louis always ends up on the map. And unfortunately, we've heard some very negative things, but this room gives us hope and to know that we have positive things going on. We have great diversity, and we love one another, and we love this community, and it's evidence because you're here and you celebrated and participated in this publication. So from the bottom of my heart, as well as my husband Keith, yeah, he didn't think I was going to mention him, but we work very, very hard. We thank you for joining us on this journey. This is a historic journey. I am a historic nerd, so I love history, and I am enjoying creating history, because this book will be history, and it will continue to live on. So thank you all.
Let's welcome Betsy Cohen, Executive Director. She already up here? All right, Betsy. Executive Director for the Regional Immigration and Innovation Initiative, the St. Louis Mosaic Project, to introduce and acknowledge the 2018 Who's Who Diversity in Color, 4th edition Most Intriguing honorees.
Thank you. As many of you know, the St. Louis Mosaic Project is a regional initiative with the goal being that by 2020, our region will be the fastest growing for foreign-born of the major metropolitan areas in the country. And we've actually been number 1 or number 2 in the last 2 years, and we are growing. I think it's extremely important that I have a chance to introduce the winners tonight that are being honored as most influential. When I call your name, I'm going to read about you, and Erica wants you to walk up here to get your award presented to you. I will say, when Erica was talking about buying books, the St. Louis Mosaic Project has a number of programs. We have Mosaic ambassadors, we have Mosaic ambassador companies, and we have Mosaic ambassador schools, 36. And I buy 36 books. And when I meet with the heads of the schools, I give them this book so that they have it to use as a role model, and they can look for the names of people that could be speakers or being involved in their schools, as well as so those students can look up to all of you. So it's extremely important, as well as the fact that it's a good idea that I buy 36 books. My first name I'd like to read about is Nicole Hudson. Come on up. Nicole is a St. Louis native with a wide range of experience, which includes working for Disney and pursuing opportunities in the performing arts. She said she was told what she wanted to be when she grew up, and she said, "I want to wear a suit and I want to work for Disney." Nicole grew up in a family of black professionals who had great faith in her potential. Her father was an eye surgeon. Her mother worked as an executive director for the Urban League of Madison County. The reputation that Hudson built over the years led her to her current position as the Deputy Mayor for Racial Equity in the cabinet of our Mayor, Lyda Crewson. Hudson wants to continue working behind the scenes to deliver St. Louis City into a new era of equity. Next, I'd like to invite my friend Marty Cortez up to the front. Marty grew up, round for Marty. Marty grew up in Mexico with two devoted parents. She learned at an early age how important education was to success. Her professional experience has given her the ability to integrate diverse perspectives, specifically from the customer's point of view, in creating innovative solutions to various challenges. She began her career at Ameren, Missouri in 2013 as Director of Customer Care before taking on the role of Director of Business and Community Relations. Marty intends to expand Ameren, Missouri's relationships in the community while gaining a deeper level of understanding of their valued commercial and residential client needs. According to Marty, we're leading the way to a secure energy future. We're proud to serve the communities in which we live. Marty Cortez. Mark Sanford. Mark Sanford has made extraordinary contributions to the advancement of African Americans in the St. Louis area in areas with low-income populations throughout his life. Beginning at Washington University, Sanford served as president of the Association of Black Students, where he was awarded for his efforts to improve campus life. This trait has carried over into his professional life, making life better for others as the current Executive Vice President of People's Health Center. Sanford graduated near the top of his class at Beaumont High School, ranking 4th in a class of over 600 students. At People's Health Center, his community engagement has concluded a Hire Smart initiative that provides employment training for over 200 people in both our city and county. We're going to have a little quiet over here to the right, please. He believes that the two most important things that people should remember about the community are not to be afraid of it and to invest in our community. Thank you. Umberto Vanilla. I think Umberto knows everybody in this community. He is a man of many talents, all of which have led him to a unique blend of experiences, from hosting television shows to the current communications manager at Cortex, our innovation center. Vanilla left his birthplace of San Juan, Puerto Rico in 1981 to attend a technical college in New York where he lived with his family. However, Vanilla chose to enlist in the Air Force before setting off on his career path. After leaving the military, he began working in the accounting department of Marriott Hotels and was transferred to St. Louis in 1991. Vanilla and his partner created the Greenery Plant Company, a landscaping business, for 13 years, and he's also served as the president and executive director of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. His interest in community development prepared him for the important work he's doing now at Cortex. He enjoys being part of an innovative and creative environment of Cortex, and he sees himself retiring back to his initial passion of being a tour guide, bringing his life full circle. Umberto. Want everybody up here? Facundo Oñard. Where's Facundo? Facundo is a new friend of mine through work that we're doing between St. Louis and Rosario, Argentina, as new sister cities for agricultural development. Shh, quiet please. I need to tell you about Facundo. At the tender age of 3 years old, Facundo experienced golf for the first time in Argentina, which would eventually lead him toward a path of helping others here in St. Louis. Facundo first arrived in the United States at the age of 19 in 1999 after receiving a golf scholarship to attend McKendree University. After obtaining his bachelor's degree in business, Facundo moved to St. Louis. In 2003, he met his wife, Aimee, and they now have 2 daughters who are 9 and 7. After receiving his green card, and let me tell you, working on immigration, a green card is a really important thing to get. He investigated different careers, which led him to Monsanto, where he's been for the last decade. Currently, his title is Customer Strategy Sales Financial Analyst. Outside of Monsanto, Facundo has been given an awesome opportunity to lead Monsanto's scholarship program, where he mentors students and recently assisted 4 of them in reaching their goal to attend college. Facundo is also the board chairman of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Metro St. Louis, and I did see Carlos Ramirez here earlier tonight. And Facundo wants to continue his work with Monsanto while growing our international community, and truly he is now helping us build bridges for the agricultural community between St. Louis and Rosario. So, Facundo. Aisha Sultan, please come on up. I think everybody reads her in the paper. Aisha is one of the first Muslim American writers in the United States to have a syndicated feature column with a daily news publication. She also serves as the home and family editor for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Quiet, please. Shh. Sultan's parents, who migrated from Pakistan, wanted her to become a doctor so that she would have a stable career and make a difference in the lives of others. She was exposed to journalism during her internship with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Wall Street Journal, and she's worked as a journalist for the past 20 years. She plans to pursue filmmaking, and actually I've talked to her about her film ideas, and other platforms to expand on her methods of telling stories around the subject of identity, families, and social change as it relates to our contemporary American society. Aisha Sultan. Sumit Verma. Sumit came to the United States to study chemical engineering at Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania. He was fortunate to go through the Merck Company's Manufacturing Division Leadership Program and have supervisors who were deeply invested in his personal success. He was encouraged by his boss to apply for a position with Mallinckrodt to allow him to be closer to his wife, who was living in St. Louis at the time. After living and working in St. Louis for the past 14 years, now he is a leader at Curium, which was a spin-off from Mallinckrodt. He finds time to engage in the local and the international communities outside of his work and his hectic travel schedule. Sumit states, it's not about work-life balance. You have to find a way to integrate your work life and your community. And I do want to add that Sumit has been very involved. The Magic House is getting ready to open a new exhibit all about Kenya, and he has deep ties to Kenya, and he has been tremendously helpful to the Magic House exhibit, which will be opening soon on Kenya, and I really do hope you all will go see it. Sumit. Dr. Stephen Player and Dr. Isaac Butler. These two medical professionals have embarked upon a mission across our region to expose, educate, and prepare minority youth for future careers in healthcare. Dr. Stephen Player and Dr. Isaac Butler hope to inspire the next generation of healthcare leaders to realize their full potential and to pay it forward by serving the community in meaningful ways. Dr. Player earned his Doctor of Pharmacy from Xavier University College of Pharmacy, and Dr. Butler is the first generation bachelor, master's, and doctorate, and works as the Vice President of Diversity Inclusion at the St. Louis College of Pharmacy, with that beautiful new building that you see coming down Forest Parkway. Charged with reaching out to minorities who need a clear path, these African American men have teamed up to continue to make a big impact in St. Louis. Thank you. Dr. James Payne. Dr. Payne is a proud St. Louis native, an ordained minister, and a product of the St. Louis County Desegregation Program. Dr. Payne currently serves as the CEO of CARE St. Louis Health, formerly known as the Myrtle Hilliard Comprehensive Health Centers. Dr. Payne attributes much of his success to his parents, who instilled a strong work ethic in him. Dr. Payne and his wife, Marissa, will celebrate 23 years of marriage in September, and they're the proud parents of 3 college-age children. That sounds expensive. Dr. Payne has taken the philosophy and the principles acquired from the many lessons of his parents, professional experiences, and the Bible, and packaged them in a book called Workplace Worship, How to Practice Your Faith. Shh. I need to tell you the title of his book. It's called Workplace Worship, How to Practice Your Faith Without Preaching a Word and Growing Your Career in the Process. Dr. Payne wants to add value to other people's lives. Dr. Payne. Jean Dobbs Bradford, please come on up. Our own music man. Growing up in an eclectically planned community in Columbia, Maryland, gave Bradford an appreciation for all different kinds of people. A student of the orchestra, he started out having an interest in playing the bass in high school and soon started his own band to play some of the great jazz music that he was exposed to in school and in his community. He soon decided that instead of sitting in the orchestra playing the bass, he would rather be the person putting the concerts together. He ended up in the American Symphony Orchestra League's Orchestra Management Fellowship Program. During his time at the American Symphony, he was exposed to jazz at the bistro. After given the opportunity to work with presenter Barbara Rose from time to time, Bradford was asked to take the directorship of this nonprofit. A champion of the arts, Bradford says that he wants to continue to grow Jazz St. Louis and see this genre of music passed along to the next generation. Jean. Our next honoree is actually being featured this week in the St. Louis Business Journal. So I'd like to introduce Linda Jing from Monsanto. Linda now lives in St. Louis for the 3rd time. Following her father's belief that smart kids study STEM, and with the given name of Qiani, which literally means smart girl in Chinese, Linda majored in industrial engineering. She fulfilled her father's wish, but then she ran away. Her father is a lifelong inspiration to her. However, she wanted to trailblaze on her own general management career path. Linda changed her mindset to think, if there's a problem, there's a solution. She has come a long way from where she started, and she is an amazing global leader now at Monsanto. She also enjoys spending time with her 5-year-old son, family, and she writes with a focus on helping others understand the Chinese culture through topics such as harmony, crisis, change, energy, and giving. And I think when you read the profile of her and you see her many career changes, you will be even more impressed than I could tell you right now. Linda Jing. Wale Sulade. Where is Wale here? Yes, there he is. Last year, Wale was on the committee, and he, again, is a very dashing dresser, and I kept thinking he should be out there getting an award. And so this year, Wale, we're really pleased to honor you. in your new role at Centene. Wale grew up in Nigeria. Wale learned the importance of being intentional about building authentic relationships, especially from those people who did not look like him. As Director of Diversity and Inclusion for the Centene Corporation, Wale holds on to those roots and takes nothing for granted. His parents made it clear to him that to whom much is given, much is expected. He states, quote, diversity and inclusion isn't simply about guarding differences in the interest of getting along. It's also about leveraging the perspective we gain through our lived experiences for the greater good. This authentic leader with a passion for people feels that nothing happens without having the right people doing the right things at the right time. Wale. Sonata Gerbich. Is she here? I don't think she's here. I think she must be cooking in her Bosnian restaurant in their new restaurant for lemons. But I will tell you that the Gerbich family is a very important family, one of our earliest Bosnian families, and they really were the mainstay that many of the additional refugees that came in the 90s really gravitated toward the help that the Gerbiches did. So you can read her profile. The whole family has been so important in our food business as well as in the community building for the Bosnian and the complete community. So read about her as well. Lastly, there are many of you that were not in the front of the book, but you are featured in the book. And there are additional profiles of many of you. So for all of you that know you're in the book, and I've seen your pictures, if you're in the book, would you please stand up so that we can give you some recognition and applaud you before we have a chance to grab the books and see you as well. All of you are the true inspirations. And when these young people, when I give these books out, you are the inspiration. So with that, I will turn it back to our master and mistress of ceremonies. Thank you.
You know, teamwork makes the dream work. So with that being said, I know I see one of my writers. Danny, can you come and stand in the front? Because we could not have gotten this done. I'm not sure, is Robin Boyce in the house? Also, my amazing graphics person who helped us take this publication to the next level, Brad Glotfelty. Please wave your hand. I know I saw her, Beth Davis. Can you please wave your hand because you had a part in this production? And if I could have my wonderful, see, when we talk about working with young people, we walk the walk and talk the talk. This is my amazing intern editor, Marie Burns. She is a student at Wash U, and she is just phenomenal.
Nobody knows what I'm doing. So anyway, here's what's going to happen. Let me give you the rundown. If you got a book voucher, you're going to take that book voucher, and it says book voucher on it. You're going to go over to the right where the big screen is, and you'll get your books there. If you don't have a book voucher, then you need to go out front and purchase a book voucher so that you can get the amazing book we've been talking about. We also would like to encourage businesses and companies. As Betsy said, every year they buy 36 books. We do have a deep discount. Listen, this is what it's about. There's some amazing stories in this room, some amazing stories, and we give a deep discount so that you can give these books to kids because we believe success leaves clues. Iron sharpens iron. In order for a boy to be a man, he must first see a man. And in order for our kids to be successful, they have to see successful people. And we believe that we've got one of the most successful groups of folks in St. Louis, bar none, featured in this year's book. I've been in the publishing business since 2004, and this is Brad the most amazing publication. Had the opportunity to travel all around the country and see other cities. This year's, by far, you'll never hear me say that again unless you succeed, unless you exceed our expectations next year, Brad. But this year's book is amazing in all of the 14 years of publishing these books around the country. Amazing stories. So I just had to get up and say that quick little pitch. I'm glad my wife didn't forget me at this reception like she has on several other occasions. She can come home tonight.
And you guys, if you're wondering why I married him, it's that voice. That voice. Yes. But thank you all tonight. You've been wonderful. I certainly hope you enjoyed yourself.